Hi everybody, and welcome to my channel. If you're new, hello, my name is Kristen. It is so nice to have you here, and if you are not new, thank you so much for coming back for another video. It has been a while since I've sat down right here on my floor and filmed a video. I have had a very busy, I'd say like 2 months. I did the release of my candles, and that has kept me extremely busy, along with my wholesale orders, and I could go on and on about that. But we also at the end of May lost my uncle, and it was very sudden. He had a very rare form of colon cancer, and we lost him very fast. He was diagnosed early May, and we lost him in about 3 weeks. So it's been extremely hard on my family and on myself, and then I got COVID, and so that shut me down for like a week and a half of just having to lay in my bed and try to quarantine away from my kids to make sure they didn't get sick. But we're back, and I haven't done a wrap-up. I haven't posted a wrap-up since February. I haven't told y'all about the books that I've read since February. And I'll be honest, April and May were very slower months. I did film a March TBR, or a March wrap-up. I just never posted it. I never edited it and posted it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to insert footage of that video. I'm going to let my past self talk about the books I read in March, because she's gonna know a lot more about what I read in March and how I felt about it than me now. So I'm gonna let that play, and then I'll come back here and we'll talk about the books that I read in April and May. Like I said, it wasn't too many. It was more than I thought, now that I've like written it down and kind of like have them sitting here. June has been a really good month. I've been grinding out some reading. Like I said, I had COVID, so I was just reading. I was laying in my bed reading. So I got a lot of reading done in June, and I'm super excited to talk about all those books. Also, because I got the vid, I'm gonna be out of breath a lot. It's a thing that has happened. I'm out of breath all the time. I go up the stairs and I'm like so I'm gonna get out of breath a lot. We're also gonna ignore the fact that my face is darker than the rest of my body. I haven't re-self-tanned, and this foundation matches my self-tan, and I like the way this foundation looks on me. So we're going to we're gonna watch what I read in March and talk about it, and then we're gonna come back here and we're gonna talk about what I read in April and May. Yay. So take it away, past Kristen. So we're going to run through the 7 books plus an extra little special one that I read in March. First, starting off with Brutal Prince from Sophie Lark. Wow, Sophie Lark never disappoints. We're also going to ignore that I'm missing shelves here. I needed them for something else. So they're downstairs. I'm borrowing them for a minute. But Brutal Prince is the first book in the Brutal Birthright series. These are the parents to the Kingmaker's kids. So I found that out after I read the first Kingmaker's books. These are really better. It's better to read these first, and I 100% agree. So I read the first Kingmaker's book. I read the Heir. So I'm switching to reading all of the Brutal Birthright series. This is about Callum and Ada. I'm really not going to give you a big summary of any of these books because I feel like doing stuff like that gives away spoilers a lot of times if you read the back of books. I like going in blind, but Brutal Prince, Sophie Lark never disappoints me. Absolutely never. I have such high expectations because I loved The Air so much, and this freaking delivered. Absolutely insane. This is Mafia. This is lighter Mafia though. This is a really good place, I think, to start with Mafia. Callum and Ada they're absolutely phenomenal. They are in rival mafias, I'll tell you that, which makes things a little more interesting. Ada is such a badass. Holy crap. I love Ada. I love Callum. This was such a good book. 5 stars. So then I turned around and read The Rebel, which is, I said, parents of the Kingmaker's kids. This is Miles. Miles is Callum and Ada's son, which could be a small spoiler for it, but Callum and Ada's son Miles is the main guy in this. If you read the Air first before you read this is the second book in the Kingmaker series, and you briefly meet all the people in this book, all 3 POVs, because Kingmaker's books have 3 POVs, so you get all 3 POVs. You meet all 3 of these people briefly in the Air. So this is also Mafia, obviously. It's Sophie. Does not disappoint. Everything I just said about Brutal Prince, put it in this too, because absolutely phenomenal. 5 stars. I'm never disappointed. Never disappointed by Sophie. Love, absolutely. I cannot wait to jump back in. I was like, I want to keep going, but I need to take a step back from Sophie for just a little bit, just so I have some more content to give you guys other than reading Sophie Lark. As much as I just like to just sit down and read Sophie Lark and nothing else. I decided to take a step back, so I'm jumping back on the Sophie Lark train in April. Then I finally finished Sincerely the Puck Bunny by Maren Moore. I'm going to put it on the screen here because I've read it on Kindle. This is the second book in the Totally Pucked series. I think it was in January. I read Change on the Fly, and that was the first book in that series. I absolutely loved Change on the Fly. And then I started Sincerely the Puck Bunny, and I could not get into it. So it took me a while to get through. I finally picked it back up and finished it. I gave it 3.5 stars. I was just like, it didn't hit like Chains on the Fly did for me. Sincerely the Puck Bunny is about Briggs and Madison, and they kind of have a one-night stand weekend, and Madison ends up pregnant. And so they are trying to deal with that. He doesn't find out, Briggs doesn't find out until very late in her pregnancy. But it was good. I just wanted more from it because I got so much from Change on the Fly. I was just a little bit disappointed in it and wasn't connecting with it as much. I really enjoyed, once I got, there was just like a middle section in Sincerely the Puck Bunny where there was a lot of like, not miscommunication, but just not non-communication that I was kind of irritated about, which kind of put me off on the book, and that's kind of why I put it down for a while. But once I got through that and towards the end, it really picked back up and I loved it. Me and Paige do have a book club, a very, very small one, mainly with Paige's Twitch followers and some friends, and we picked Love Hypothesis for March's read. Oh, I feel like everyone's gonna be mad at me for this, but I didn't love this like at all. I'm sorry. It was in third person, which I don't love. I don't love a third person book. Everyone probably knows what this is about. This is about Olive and Adam. He is a professor. She is in grad school to get her PhD. And they have to start a fake dating relationship to benefit both of them for different reasons. I just feel like this was so slow. It was so slow, and it's third person, but it's third person only following like what is going on in Olive's head. So you don't get a lot of Adam, and I just wanted more Adam. I needed more Adam in the book. I'd say like the last 150 pages is what saved this book for me. I came very close to DNFing it. I gave it 3.5 stars. It really probably would have gotten more like a 2.5 to 3 star if it wasn't for those last 150 pages that just like gripped me. From like chapter 15 on, I was like, yes, why wasn't the rest of this book like this? The rest of the book was like that last 150 pages. I would have given it like 4.5 stars. But I was disappointed, I think, in this. I had such high expectations for what this was going to be because everyone loved it so much. And I think that kind of hurt me in a way. I didn't love it. And I'm so sad that I didn't love it. But I can say I've read it, and the last 150 pages, like, I would go read again. They were so good. So, I'm sorry. I didn't like The Love Hypothesis. I don't like third-person books, and I didn't realize that this was third-person. So that kind of already, like, put it a star down, just because I can't, my brain can't, like, I don't like it. My brain doesn't like it. Then I listened to The Baller by V. Keeland, and I loved this. This was so good. This is the second V. Keeland. I've listened to Penelope Ward and V. Keeland, or Vi Keeland. I'm not sure how you say it. I say V just because that's what the best way my brain says it. So if I'm mispronouncing it, please correct me. I've listened to one of their books before, and I really enjoyed it. So I saw this on my Hoopla app, which is a free app that you can use with your library card to listen to audiobooks and read like digital books. But The Baller is about Brody Easton. He is Super Bowl MVP, star quarterback. He's cocky, arrogant, all the stuff you want to see in like a male lead in a book. And then Delilah is a sports broadcaster. She does locker room interviews and covers sports games. So Brody kind of gives her a hard time at first, and so this is kind of like the journey of how they deal with being around each other when it's very forced proximity. Is of course sports romance, and I love a sports romance. I'm sorry that my lighting is awful right now. I'm tired of it, and I'm sorry. But I absolutely love this. This was so sweet. The epilogue is, oh my god, I love an epilogue. But I think that, like, you look at this cover and you think it's just gonna be like a cutesy sports spicy romance, but it had a lot of depth to it, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4.75 stars. It just wasn't like a top tier book for me, but I really enjoyed it. It's dual POV. I loved it. The last two books I read were two novellas by Jenny Proctor. They are called The Dating Game and Hold Your Breath. The Dating Game is about Allie, and she is just kind of dating the wrong kind of guy. Dating life just kind of isn't going that great, and her sister is married to her best friend, actually, and her brother-in-law is like, hey, I dare you to date somebody with an occupation of every letter in the alphabet. She never turns down a dare, so she's like, yeah, okay, fine, let's go. So she is trying to work her way through the alphabet. Her next door neighbor, Eric, has a little interest in Allie, but he's a veterinarian. So he's like bottom of the list. We're not getting to him for a while as far as this dating game goes. But this was the cutest novella. Absolutely adorable. I loved this so much. It was super quick read. It took me like maybe an hour and a half to read this, and I absolutely loved it. So I jumped right into the next one, which was Hold Your Breath. I gave both of these 4.5 stars. These are both actually books that you can get for free just by signing up for Jenny's newsletter. I will leave her newsletter link below, her Instagram, all that, so that you can sign up for her newsletter, get these free books, and download them to your phone or your Kindle app, or your Kindle, and read these, because I 100% think they're worth it. I said 4.5 stars. I just really think it's hard to give a novella a 5-star because I'm always left wanting so much more. But Hold Your Breath is about Nate and Kayla. Kayla was a swimmer. She is going to be doing Olympic trials, and Nate was an Olympic swimmer who got hurt in a car accident, but so he is now Kayla's sister's swim coach. And this is just kind of their love story, obviously. But it was just so cute. I freaking love a novella. And Jenny does them so well. Jenny does closed door romance. So these aren't spicy novellas, but they are the cutest little rom-com novellas, and I definitely think you should check them out. Hello, are you back? Did you enjoy that? How was past Kristen? She probably wasn't very energetic. But now we're going to talk about what I read in April and in May. I'll separate them that way I can tell you. I honestly am not going to be able to give you super detailed things about these books because I'm not very good at remembering details. So I'll try my best. And we're going to start with this beauty right here, In the Weeds, by B.K. Borison. If y'all don't know, this book, Love Light Farms, is one of my favorite of all time. Becks killed it with her first novel ever, first romance. She's so funny. I was in love with this book. I read it late last year, like very end of last year, and it made it on my like top 10 books or top 12 books of 2021. This is the second book in this like little family. Look at how cute they are. The new cover for this book. Okay, so this book, Becks designed this cover in like 24 hours right before the book came out because her this is I think this is the story. If I'm wrong, please correct me. I think she designed this in like 24 hours because her cover designer dropped out or couldn't do it or something, like right before the book came out. So she does not like this cover, but this is from her new sorry for kicking the camera. This is from her new designer. All of the books now have this, like, the guy and the girl with the thing covering their face, and they're so cute. So, In the Weeds is book 2. I will throw up the new Love Light cover. Isn't it beautiful? It's so pretty. If you read the book, you will understand. You will understand the little car tree. Car tree. I need to go to bed. Anyway, so this is the second book. They're in the same world. This is Stella and Luca, and this is Beckett and Evelyn. And I just gotta say, you still don't disappoint me, Becks. Oh my god, y'all. This book, it's so good. I devoured it in like 2 days. I actually got an ARC for it, which is an advanced reader copy. I was so grateful that I was chosen. I really wish I would have like been able to promote this more when it first came out. I was just kind of like down and out. But now, y'all need to go read this book. You need to go read this book. You need to go read this book because, y'all, I'm telling you right now, this woman right here does no wrong. So, Evelyn, you meet in Love Light. You also meet Beckett in Love Light. Beckett is like the farmhand at the Christmas tree farm. This might seem Christmassy, but you can read it anytime. Read it now in July. Christmas in July. Go read Love Light Farms. And you meet Evelyn in Love Light because she is like a social media personality. She's a social media personality. Her and Beckett kind of have like little flames when she first comes, and then she kind of gets in this headspace to where she was like, the last time I was happy was when I was at Love Light. So she comes back, and then I'll let you read and find out what else happens, because it's great. It's fantastic. The smut's great. The story is impeccable. There are so many great lines in this book. I mean, it is, whoo, beautiful. It's a masterpiece. I'm so in love. And there's a third book coming out called Mixed Signals. It is right here. I think it comes out toward the end of the year. And it's going to be in the same world. You meet those characters in these books. So I'm so excited. 5 stars for In the Weeds. There's nothing wrong with this book. It is wonderful. It is lovely. It is incredible. It is all of the above. So, In the Weeds, go read it right now. Go read it. Go read it. Next, I read Addicted to You, the first book in the Addicted/Calloway Sister series. I don't have mine, so I'm going to post a picture right here, but I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. A friend Ashley is actually borrowing mine. So this is Lily and Lauren Orlow, and they both have addictions. I'm not going to talk about what they are, but you need to know, trigger warning, it is very heavily about addiction. I don't want to get into too much detail of what the book is about because, like I said, trigger warning, I don't want to talk about it on my channel. But it was a really great start to a series. It was a little slow at the beginning and kind of repetitive, but it was the first book in a 5-book series following the same 2 people. The way the Addicted/Calloway Sister series works, there's 5 books in the Addicted series. They all follow Lily and Lo. There's 4 books in the Calloway Sister series. There's 2 for each Calloway sister, and then there's an extended, like an epilogue that's all 6 of them. You do meet all of the characters that are in the Calloway Sister series in the first book of Addicted. So, don't look in too much into what the Calloway Sister series is and who the characters are, if you don't want to know who ends up with who. So you can kind of figure it out, especially one couple. But I really love this book. I cannot wait to read Ricochet. Me and Paige are going to buddy read this series, so we kind of try to not speed through a series if we can. Saying that as we're reading the entire The Summer I Turned Pretty series. But we try to put, like, space it out so we can, like, get some variety in. So I'm sure we'll be back into the Addicted/Calloway Sister world very soon, because they intertwine a lot. So I gave it 4.5 stars just because, like I said, it's a little slow at the beginning. It's a little repetitive, but fantastic book. I absolutely love it. I cannot wait to read more. The next book I read was ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. My friend Emily got me this specific book. I bought myself a copy, if you know the debacle of me losing my ACOTAR copy, and then that was a whole thing. But anyway, it took me a while to get through this, to be 100% honest with you. It's my first, like, true fantasy book, I would say. I mean, I read, like, Twilight, but that's not really fantasy. It was, like, my first fantasy book that had, like, fae and that kind of stuff in it. So it was definitely a little slower for me to get through. It was kind of hard to understand. It's a lot of information to try to keep up with, like, who's from what place and why you can't do this and who that person is, and I can't pronounce half of people's names in this. So it was definitely a struggle to get through it. I gave it 4 stars because it was a struggle. In the end, it was a great book. It was really captivating. Like, the last, I'd say 120 pages was really, really good. Maybe even, like, the last third of the book was really, really good. But I'm just struggled with it. The second one is supposed to be so much better. It is spoiled for me who Feyre ends up with, so I already know where that's going. So I'm excited to read the second book. Like I said, it's so much. I'm definitely more, Emily said it best, and if you did not watch my last video, which was me opening up my book swap with Emily, in her video, which if you haven't watched that, go watch it right now. In her video, she described it best as to she's a fantasy reader that sometimes reads romance, and I'm a romance reader that sometimes reads fantasy. So I don't understand all this like she does. So sometimes she had to like talk me through it. But it was really good. 4 stars. I would definitely recommend it if you like this kind of thing. It's a decently sized series. The second book is ginormous. That's why I haven't started it. Just because it's such a commitment to read it like without stopping and reading something else, which I usually will do. I will usually like take a week break in the middle of one of these books and read something else because my brain can't deal. Okay. Anyway, A Court of Thorns and Roses was fantastic. The last book I read in April was The Scorecard by Maren Moore. This is Emery and Graham. It is the 3rd book in a series. The first one was Change on the Fly. The second was Sincerely the Puck Bunny. This is the 3rd one. It was much better than Sincerely the Puck Bunny. Me and that book did not vibe at all. And I don't really know why. I talked about it in my March. You should have seen it earlier. But this was great. I gave it 4.5 stars. I got this as an ARC. I am very thankful to Maren and her team for sending me an ARC and giving me an advance copy to be able to read before it released. This does lead off on a huge cliffhanger. It is unplanned pregnancy, hockey, sports, romance, yada yada yada. There is a second book, and like this is a book in the middle of a series, but it's also a duet. It is a duet, and the second book in the duet within this series is called The Final Score, which it is already out. I read it this month in June. It's a fantastic book. Maren writes incredible sports romance. Yeah, the scorecard was great. I really enjoyed it. And that was the last book I read in April. So I read 4 books in April. I did great. 4 books. I usually read double that. So April was a slow month. But then May was just not better at all. I read 4 books in May. First book I read in May was Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. This was my... Hello, focus. This was my... Harry, you're not important right now. My camera keeps trying to focus on Harry back here. Mr. Styles, go away. Anyway, Love and Other Words. Love and Other Words. This was my first Christina Lauren book. And I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. This is, oh my god. This book is impeccably written. The fact that this is 2 authors, what? You cannot tell at all. Let's see if I can, there we go. I'm gonna have to move him. This follows Macy and Elliot, and Macy and Elliot were childhood like sweethearts kinda, and then they kind of fall off and don't talk for 10 years, and then they run into each other at a coffee shop. So you're flipping back and forth every other chapter. So one is a then chapter, one is a now chapter, and the entire time they're kind of like reconnecting now, and then in the then chapters you're kind of learning, like watching them grow up and kind of fall in love, and is all kind of building up to like what happened to make Macy cut Elliot out of her life, basically. So you get to kind of figure all that out. This book broke me. I bawled like a baby. It was a mess. Trigger warning of a loved one who has passed away big time in this book, especially a parent. But it is a fantastic book. I am obsessed with it. I kind of want to reread it and tab it because I didn't tab it. Why did I not tab it? I've been obsessed with tabbing in like June, so my Summer I Turned Pretty books are like tabbed all to crap, and I started highlighting and writing my books, and I've always been like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to ruin my books, but I did it and I'm obsessed with it. So love another, oh, 5 stars, by the way, 5 stars, 15 stars, 27 stars, all the stars. And then I picked up my lovely Sophie Lark book. This is still linear. I didn't tab, I started tabbing this book and then I quit. So that's fantastic. I'm so good. If you don't know, I love Sophie Lark. You probably all know. I don't know why I say it every video, because you all know. But I love Sophie Lark. This is the 2nd book in the Brutal Birthright series. This follows Mikolai. I think I'm saying that right. If I'm saying that, oh wow, that is a very... Do you see the way the light's changing? Okay, let me go back over here. This follows Mikolai. I think I'm saying... What is with this? I'm gonna have to hold this book down here. I'm not gonna be able to hold it for you. I'm sorry that this keeps like throwing... It was reflecting off my Burger King cup. This follows Mikolai. I think I'm saying his name correctly. And Nessa, maybe it's not. This lighting's fantastic. It keeps going green and then like red. So anyway, back of this says, they murdered my father, so I stole their daughter. So Nessa is kind of like Mikolai's little captive. It's kind of Beauty and the Beast, but darker. You know, Sophie is dark mafia romance for this in the Kingmaker series, and I'm obsessed. I gave it 4.5 stars. Oh my god. I gave it 4.5 stars. It dragged a little in places. It was definitely not as good as Brutal Prince in my opinion. It was definitely not as good as Brutal Prince in my opinion. I was obsessed with Callum and Ada. And then I just finished Savage Lover, which is the 3rd book. So you'll hear about that in June. Yeah, it definitely didn't hit like Callum and Ada did, but Callum and Ada are like top tier, so it was kind of hard to do that. But still fantastic. Absolutely love it. Definitely just read it because you need to. It's something you need to do. You need to read it. I'll read anything Sophie Lark writes. Literally. Like, she could write a phone book and I'd be like, yeah, let me buy that. Let me buy it in the discreet cover too. By the way, discreet covers are coming to these and I've seen them, and y'all, those discreet covers are beautiful. I didn't really talk about what this book was about, but just go read it. And then I read Heartstopper. I know everyone's reading this, everyone's watching the show, and I felt very left out and I wanted to read it. This is actually a graphic novel. I'm going to just kind of see how it's good, focusing on Harry and focus on Charlie and Nick. Harry. It's a graphic novel. Mr. Styles, you're really making me mad today. Anyway, it's a graphic novel. And it's about Charlie and Nick, and they are, I'm just gonna read the back of it because I don't really know how to explain this book because there's not many words Took me like an hour to read this. Boy meets boy, boys become friends, boys fall in love. Shy and soft-hearted Charlie Springs sits next to rugby player Nicholas. I decided his name was Nicholas instead of Nick. Sits next to rugby player Nick Nelson in class one morning. A warm and intimate friendship follows, and that soon develops into something more for Charlie, who doesn't think he has a chance. But why do I want to call him Nicholas? But Nick is struggling with feelings of his own, and as the two grow closer and take on the ups and downs of high school, they come to understand the surprising and delightful ways in which love works. This was just so cute. So cute. I don't remember how many stars I gave. Between 4 and 5. Probably 4.5. It is adorable. It is so cute. It's such a fast read. I'm searching high and freaking low for the rest of the series because I wanted to binge it. And it's sold out everywhere. Nowhere has it. So that's really fun. Like literally no. It's been pre-ordered from Books A Million for 3 weeks now. It still hasn't shipped. They were like, we'll let you know when we get more. So, if you know where to buy Heartstopper 2 through 4, let me know, please. Because I'd love to read the rest of them. Like, ASAP. So, if you know where to get them, let me know. And then, the last book that I read in May, I'm so excited to talk about this. It's by Miss Jenny Proctor, who is one of my all-time favorite authors. I've read now in June. I read a lot of Jenny Proctor. You're gonna hear a lot about Jenny Proctor in June, and I cannot wait. I read my first Jenny Proctor book in February. Red, Love, and Bloom. This was my first Jenny Proctor book I ever read. I got this as an ARC, and I was so grateful. I actually received this one as an ARC as well. These are both purchased copies though. This is actually the 4th book in the Some Kind of Love series. So I read it very out of order. They're just kind of interconnected, different couples. I read this. I absolutely loved it. I think I gave it 4.5 or 4.75 stars. It was fantastic. And then I found out she was coming out with this book, which is How to Kiss Your Best Friend. This book, y'all, Jenny did this right in this book. This book is so good. Sorry if the frame changed. Anyway, so in the 3rd book in the Some Kind of Love series, you meet the Hawthorne family. And then, so this series is the Hawthorne Brothers series, or How to Kiss a Hawthorne Brother, I think is technically what it's called. So there's going to be 4 books in this series. There is How to Kiss Your Best Friend. The next one is How to Kiss Your Grumpy Boss. But let's talk about How to Kiss Your Best Friend real quick. This came out last month in May. Brody Hawthorne, y'all. Brody Hawthorne. Book boyfriend material. Okay, so Kate and Brody grew up best friends. Obviously. And Kate kind of moved away and is doing her own thing, and then she ends up back in Silver Creek, which is where Brody is a teacher and a whitewater rafting instructor. I mean, come on, whitewater rafting? Who knew that could be so sexy? Brody Hawthorne did. So this is just kind of like them reuniting, and Brody's kind of always been in love with Kate and has never told her. So I'm just going to kind of read the back for this one because I want you to be able to get the feel of it, because you need to read this book. This is a closed door romance, whatever you want to call it. There is no smut, but it doesn't need it. I know, y'all, what I was thinking. I love me some smut in a book. This book doesn't need it. Trust me. The tension is there without it. So we're gonna read the back. Kate Fletcher is my kryptonite. She's also my best friend. Former best friend. I'm not sure what to call it. When we grew up attached at the hip, and then she left Silver Creek and me to travel the world. The important thing, Kate is back. Temporarily. And I'm still in love with her. Permanently. But something is different now. The attraction doesn't seem one-sided. I don't think I'm imagining the heat in Katie's eyes or the chemistry crackling between us. But will that be enough to keep Kate here when for as long as I can remember, all she wanted to do was leave. I'm determined to give her a reason to stay, family, connection, roots, and me. I'll have to start with sparks and fire, but if I can take this step, there's no turning back to simple friendship. And if she doesn't feel the same way, I might lose her again. This time for good. Doesn't that make you want to read this book? It should. Don't need to go read this book right now. I think it's free on KU, or you can buy it off. You can buy one of these off Amazon. You might be able to buy yourself a little signed copy from Jenny. You can message her to see if she has any available. That's what I do. I have both of these. I bought directly from Jenny, signed personally to me. But she is one of my favorite authors. She's an incredible small author. And you should all go follow her on Instagram right now. Go give her some love. You probably heard about her. You heard about her in my March wrap up too, because I read 2 novellas that were fantastic from her that are free. You can go to her page on Instagram to figure out how to read this. If you read any of these books, these 3: How to Kiss Your Best Friend, Love in Other Words, In the Weeds. But really, these two. Go read these books. Support these smaller authors. Give them some love. Oh, so fantastic. I love it. I love it. I'll have them both. I'll have Becks and Jenny both linked down below, so you can follow them. But that's all I read in all those months. That's all. I didn't do that great, y'all. My poor little book bullet journal over there looks so sad. My monthlies are just like 4 little pictures, and it's so sad. But I am so excited for June, for me to tell y'all about the books I've been reading in June. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I've got some really cool stuff planned. If you have anything that you really want me to do, let me know, and odds are I might do it. I'm going to be reorganizing all this very soon because it is a disaster, and Harry's gonna have to move. I love him, but we might have to move Harry's house box right here and move his little butt over there so he stops messing up my shots. But I love him. I'm going to see him in September. Do y'all want me to vlog that? I'm going to see him in September. I still can't believe it. I'm going to see him at Madison Square Garden in September. What is my life? So if you want me to vlog that, I probably will, whether you want me to or not. But thank you so much for watching this video. I know I've rambled a lot. I am kind of out of practice, so I'm not really sure what I've said or if I did this very well. So if this video sucks, I'm really sorry. I'll do better next time. But thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, go watch my last video. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to this channel. I don't think I've said that. Subscribe. I'm almost to 1,000 followers. That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. I'm almost to 1,000 followers. So subscribe. Hit that button. The little button is free. The red button, and then you make it like gray or whatever color it decides it wants to be this week. And like this video. Follow me on Instagram. I'm always posting about what I'm reading. And I will see y'all next time. Bye.